can live with George Washington.
Trump held court in front of the media after his return to the Oval Office, entertaining questions while he signed a slew of executive orders, at least 50 at last count, as television cameras beamed the moment live.
That's a big one. So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China with 1.4 billion people. We have 350 to pay. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million, we were paying 500 million. It seemed a little unfair to me. So that wasn't the reason, but I dropped out.
He's also again withdrawing the US from the landmark Paris Climate Agreement under an order titled Putting America First in International Environmental Agreements, instructing the US ambassador to the UN to immediately submit formal written notifications of Washington's intention to withdraw.
When the US first withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement, when Donald Trump first took office, there was an extended notice process, which actually didn't take effect until shortly before Trump left office in 2020. This time, it's just a one-year notice period. So President Trump, in his second presidency, has announced that the U.S. is withdrawing. That becomes legally effective a year from now, but as a practical matter, everybody knows that it's coming. So as a practical matter, the U.S. is out already.
Additional orders with global implications, an America First trade policy that instructs several government departments to address unfair and unbalanced trade and trade deficits while pushing tariffs as a tool of redress, while instructing the U.S. Trade Representative to review all existing U.S. trade agreements, re-evaluating and realigning U.S. foreign aid, ordering that no further U.S. foreign assistance shall be disbursed in a manner that is not fully aligned with the foreign policy of the President of the United States, realigning the U.S. refugee admissions program in which Trump largely suspends entry of refugees into the country, while ordering an America First foreign policy, directing the Secretary of State to champion core American interests and always put America and American citizens first. With early reaction from across the Atlantic, with the EU describing a new era of harsh geostrategic competition.
The race is on. As this competition intensifies, we will likely continue to see frequent use of economic tools, such as sanctions, export controls and tariffs, that are intended to safeguard economic and national security. But it is important that we balance the imperative to safeguard our security against our opportunity to innovate and enhance our prosperity. In this spirit, we will need to work together to avoid a global race to the bottom, because it is in no one's interest to break the bonds of the global economy. Rather, we need to modernize the rules to sustain our ability to produce mutual gain for our citizens.
As questions remain about how Trump's approach will factor beyond America's borders.
Trump runs a very nationally focused, quite transactional approach to America's position in the world. Whereas I think the Joe Biden administration, in people like Jake Sullivan, Anthony Blinken and others, they channeled, I think, some of that probably kind of post-Cold War, 90s, early 2000s, sense of America having a global moral responsibility for providing security to different parts of the world. It's now a big open question as to how Donald Trump interprets the use of America's military power and its prestige globally.
The United Nations and the World Health Organization also responding to Trump's executive orders. A statement from the UN on the Paris climate withdrawal said the Secretary-General Antonio Guterres remained confident that American cities, states and businesses would continue to demonstrate vision and leadership by working on low-carbon, resilient economic growth that would create quality jobs and markets for 21st century prosperity, and that it was crucial the United States remained a leader on environmental issues. while the World Health Organization expressed regret at Trump's decision to withdraw, urging the US to reconsider, while expressing hope for constructive dialogue moving forward to maintain the relationship. Shervin Brycepease, SABC News, New York.